Hello everyone, I'm Najma, a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft within the AI app space. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the Content Understanding Flow Accelerator, which connects Copilot Studio to Azure AI Content Understanding, giving your agent that ability to extract structured data from documents, images, audio, and video. I'll cover the full setup end to end. So that consists of downloading the accelerator, importing it, configuring the connector, and testing it out. So to start off with, make sure you're in your Copilot Studio and Azure GitHub repo. So this is just the link that I've highlighted. And once you're here, scroll all the way down to solutions accelerators. So you can see here there's a few accelerators around AI search, video RAG, SharePoint connector. These are really great accelerators that you should check out, but today we're going to be focusing on the Content Understanding Accelerator. So if we click into this, it should direct you to the README file. So this consists of the instructions, the step-by-step that you can follow when doing this accelerator, which is super useful. So if we just scroll back up, you should see the zip file. So click onto the zip file, go to download raw file, and download this zip file. So with this zip file, it contains everything that you need for this accelerator. So this is, your flow, your custom connector, and the connection references all packaged up in a solution. So once you have your zip file downloaded, you can go to the Copilot Studio UI, click onto these three dots, go to Power Automate, and then it should take you to the homepage of the Power Automate. And just make sure you're in your developer environment and not production, as this is just for testing and trying things out. And if once you're in on the homepage, you can go to solutions, and then you should be able to see this. So this is all your solutions that you might have in your developer environment. This is what I have. Go to import solution, click browse, click onto a zip file that you've downloaded, click open, go to next, and then you should see something that says advanced settings. So click onto that and make sure you have this selected. So where it says enable plugin steps and flows, including solutions, so your solution actually works. So once you have that selected, go to next and then click import. So the only reason why I have this is because I've already imported this Content Understanding Accelerator. But yeah, just click onto import and then it should import your solution. So I'm just gonna click out of this. And once you have your solution imported, it should come up here. So you can see mine, Content Understanding Accelerator. If you click onto this, and then you should see all the stuff within your solution. So your two cloud flows, so your first one here and the other one being here, and then your custom connector alongside your connection reference. So if you click onto your custom connector, it should navigate you to this page where you can see the description and your API key. If you click onto edit and you go to the general part of your connector, you should see this part where it says host. And this is basically where you'd paste your content understanding endpoint. So to get your content understanding endpoint, you will need to go to your Microsoft Foundry portal. So this is just the overview page, the home page. And once you're here, just make sure you're in the new Foundry and then go to build. Once you're in build, go to this models tab. And once you're here, you need to make sure you have a text embedding model and a GPT model deployed. So I have the text embedding 3 large model deployed alongside a GPT 4.1 mini and the 4.1, but you don't need to have both. It's just one of them. You could also have a GPT 5.2 model deployed. So once you have one of the GPT models deployed and a text embedding model, you can go to your AI services, and then you should see a few of the AI services that are available in Foundry, such as your speech, your translator, your language. But because we're focusing on content understanding, we're going to be only looking on this. So once you're here, you can see that there's two content understanding. There's one that's a read and one that's a layout model. So with both of these, they have the same endpoint and API key. So you can click onto any and copy and paste the endpoint and the API key. So let's just copy the endpoint, just have that copied, go back to Power Automate, paste that here, and then just remove this. So you should just have whatever your endpoint is, .services.ai.azure.com. And once you have that pasted, click onto security, click definition. So this is basically just click next, and then go to code, test. And once you're in test, you'll see connections. So this is basically where you'll have your content understanding connection set up. I already have one set up, but to create one, you're going to have to click new connection. And then it's going to ask for your content understanding API key. So to find that, go back to your Microsoft Foundry portal and then copy the key, go back to Power Automate, paste that, and then click create connection. But because I've already created one, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to click onto this arrow, and you should see your content understanding connection created here. So once you have that created, you can just click out this tab, just go back to Power Automate, and then click onto update connector. Make sure you click onto this, because if you don't, then when you run your flow, it won't call content understanding and it won't work. But once you click update connector, you can close out of this, click out of this web page, go back to Power Automate, and then you should see this here, and then click done. And once you're done, you can go back to the Copilot Studio UI. Make sure again you're in your dev environment, so the same environment as your Power Automate. Click onto flows, and you should see the two cloud flows here. So click onto Content Understanding Flow Custom, and you should be able to see the overview page here. So you can also see your connection references. So if you click manage, you can make sure that's all connected up. Just click cancel. If you go to your designer, you can see your flow here, where it starts off with manually triggering a flow, but you can always change your trigger to when an agent calls the flow. And you just scroll down, and then this is your content understanding. And if you click onto the content understanding call, you can click onto these three dots, and then you can see the connections here. So it's good to just check that your content understanding is connected up. So once you've just had a look at the flow, scroll back up, click onto test. And when you're running your flow the first time, you have to manually test it out. So if you click onto manually testing it out, if you click onto test, you should see body, operation, and API version. So for the body, I'll paste a JSON object with the URL of a sample invoice PDF. So to find that, you can go back to the Copilot Studio and Azure repo, specifically the Content Understanding Flow Accelerator. So back to the instructions, scroll all the way down to the step we're at, which is step 5. So when you're at step 5, so the final part, you can see here the test sample. So if you click onto test sample, it should take you to the MS Learn Content Understanding, and you scroll down, and you should get to this part where it says post request. So you can see document, images, audio, and video. So I'm just going to go with the document one. And if you just copy and paste this URL, so just copy this, go back to the Copilot Studio UI, paste this into the body, it should be fine. So for the operation, I'm going to use the pre-built invoice, because that's the one that I've selected as part of my URL. But you could also see that there's the pre-built image search, audio, video alongside custom analysis. So you can just pick the one that you're trying to do. So I'm going to just go with the pre-built invoice. And then the API version stays at 2025. 11.01. So this is the default. If you don't add an updated version, it will just go with the default. But let me just type this here. And then before we run the flow, you can go to review connections and actions, just to make sure your content understanding connection is there and set up and working. And then if you click back and then run flow. So when you click onto run flow, what it's going to do, so the page should refresh anytime now. So it will say that your flow is running. So when your flow is running, what it's doing is that it's calling the API and then pulling for the results. And then it's going to be running for like a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. So if you just see here, if you click onto results, it should come up as running. So if you just give it a minute, it will say succeeded and then it will say running. So it will say running for around maybe just under a minute, and then it should come up with the results. But I've already run this content understanding flow, so I'll quickly show you what the output will be. So if I just go back, go to overview, and if I go to one of the flows that I've run, if you just scroll down, so you can see if you click onto results, you can see running. You can find this, you see the raw outputs. And then to see the actual output, what happens is that after your flow has run and called the content understanding, extracted the information from your PDF, you should see a first and a second page. So if you click onto the next page, it should give you the output. Let me just wait for it to load. So you can see the output here of all the information they extracted from the invoice. So you can see here the USD, the address, the company, everything from this invoice. And you can, if you go to show raw outputs, you can see the result in a JSON format alongside with the confidence scoring and all the stuff extracted from this invoice. But yeah, that is the Content Understanding Flow Accelerator. So from here, what you can do is basically connect this flow to your Copilot Studio agent as a flow or as a tool. So users can submit documents in a conversation and get structured data back automatically. So yeah, that is it. And hopefully this video has been super useful. And yeah, thank you for watching.